Hi guys, I'm here to talk about what DC Unchained needs to survive, part 2. Now, last time you might remember me talking about a need for every character to have a use, and now we're going to talk about character progression. So let's get right into that. Character progression. There are 3 things they need to focus on. You don't want a lot of RNG with it. Allow all the characters to be progressed throughout all the ranks, and have a reasonable grind for everything. So first of all, RNG. Don't do RNG. WB, listen here. I know you guys tend to get your fingers into everything. You tend to screw it up. Don't do RNG, or at least don't make it a focus. Alright, just please do not do that. RNG is horrible. At least when it comes down to cosmetics in games like Overwatch, it's whatever, it's just cosmetics. But when you do it in such a gameplay affecting way, do not do RNG, alright? Contest of Champions, they have these crystals that are super expensive and you nearly always get trash out of them. It's horrible, alright? You got DC Legends, they have 3 hero fragments, 2 hero fragments even you get, and then for random characters, and you need hundreds to get them to max. It's horrible. You just don't, oh gosh, it's disgusting, the RNG. Please don't do that. A game that does a lot better is Future Fight, and I tend to think Future Fight does a lot of these things better. It's where you farm them strictly from story or other missions, where you can say, I'm going to get however many of these bios today, and you farm out the missions until you get 10 bios. Now this is an old screenshot, it only says 5 bios, but nowadays you can get 10 bios per mission. So you get in there and you're like, I'm going to farm 10 bios of Captain America, and you do it. And then you're like, yes, I have 10 bios of the character, and it's guaranteed progression. You don't have to say, oh, well, I got like 2 bios for Vision and like 3 for Whiplash. No, you got 10 for Captain America, and you know you're getting 10 from Captain America. And now you might be like, well, Pokemon Future Fight has RNG boxes that give you bios. Those are a sub thing you can buy with bonus money. That is in no way the main way to farm characters. That's just some side thing in case you're like an Uber whale. It's honestly not that great of a deal unless you're a brand new player starting out and you need to expand your roster. So let's get right into the next point. Allow all the characters to be progressed. You may play Contest of Champions and you'll get your favorite character out of a 3-star crystal. And you'll play with him and you'll love him. And then later on you get a 5-star character and you may hate that character. But the problem is you're going to have to stick with the 5-star character because he'll always be better than your 3-star character. Future Fight doesn't do this. They have all the characters here and you can farm them out in whatever way you like. So if you like Mordo, you can go ahead and farm Mordo. But say you're more a Medusa fan, you can go ahead and farm up Medusa. Or if one character falls into meta, you can farm them up whenever you need to. You don't have to just hope, hey, maybe I can get this character at 5-star. No, you can just go right in and say, I want this character at 5-star, and you work for it. And if you get the character for 4-star from something, you can then work them up to 6-star. And it's just great that Future Fight allows you to have that versatility with your roster. Now let's get into the final reason. Make sure you have a reasonable grind. You want multiple ways to farm. You want to always feel like there's a lot of progression and it doesn't take long for a character to be useful. And you don't want to take too much manpower. Future Fight does a good job of having multiple ways to farm, with having the normal missions, the special missions, the dimension rifts, the timeline battles, villain siege, all these ways to farm characters that contribute and allow you to feel like you're having a lot of progression. Because even though you may not make a lot of progress on one character in a day, you're making a lot of progress across your roster every day. And so that allows you to feel like there's a lot of progression. And Future Fight with the story mission characters, you can get them up to 6-star in like less than 30 days. And that allows them to be useful super quickly if you ever need them. And even though there's still tier 2 ahead of that, you can still use a character at 6-star and they still feel useful after putting in a little bit of effort to farming them up. And you don't want to take too much manpower. You look at Contest of Champions and they have their arena. That takes a lot of work to run. And I just don't find it that rewarding because it takes many hours for you to farm through that and then get enough to then get the character, as opposed to Future Fight, which even though I listed off all that ways to farm, that it isn't too bad to do because they have clear tickets, so you can send them off on your phone and say, I want to run this mission 20 times, and you leave and you come back, and then your phone automatically ran the 20 missions while you're gone. Or even for story missions, you could just say, run it 10 times, and it's like, okay, here's your rewards, and it just automatically runs them for you right there. And it's super great, and it really destroys the manpower that you'd have to put into the game. Destroyed, is that the kind of word you use for manpower? Let's say it eliminates the manpower you'd have to put into the game. As opposed to Contest of Champions, we have to put in hours. And I really enjoy the Future Fight. It allows you to still farm out everything without throwing away your life to the game. So those are the 3 things you need to make a game fun for us to farm. You want to have minimal RNG. You want to have every character able to be progressed through the ranks and have a reasonable grind. So make sure you do it right, DC Unchained. The ball's in your field. I've told you what you need to know. Don't do what DC Legends and Contest of Champions did. Pretty much throughout this series, you guys are going to see me say what Future Fight does well. I pretty much want this game to just be a DC skin for Future Fight. I think Future Fight did an incredible job, and if you want to see the ideal free-to-play game in my mind, look at Future Fight, because that's what I'm going to be talking about for a lot of this series, of what Future Fight did well and DC Unchained for following its footsteps. So here's my 5-star Black Manta, which of course I will get as soon as possible, because Black Manta is the best character ever. And with that, folks, I'll see you in the next part of this series. Goodbye, everybody.